So which Donkey Kong is featured in the new Donkey Kong Bonanza game? The answer is a little more complicated than you think. I'll tell you what my fan theory is at the end, and then I'll tell you the real Nintendo answer. Essentially, most people don't really realize, but there are many people with the same name of Donkey Kong. So when you interact with them in the games, there's different Donkey Kongs, but it could be a different person. Essentially, the original Donkey Kong game that released on arcade, where Donkey Kong captures Pauline and Mario / Jumpman has to save him, that's Donkey Kong. Then Donkey Kong had a child named Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong Jr. was featured in Mario Tennis, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong Jr. Math, Super Mario Kart. This is who you play as in the first Super Mario Kart game. And then you have Donkey Kong III, who is just known as Donkey Kong. This is what most people are familiar with. He got redesigned last year to look like this. And as far as we know, this is the Donkey Kong that's in Donkey Kong Bonanza. So he's just known as Donkey Kong, but don't confuse him with this Donkey Kong, because now this Donkey Kong is actually Cranky Kong. And so whenever you see Cranky Kong, that's Donkey Kong. The complicated thing is, in this photo, look at this graph. You have Cranky Kong, Donkey Kong, presumably the third, and young Pauline. The problem is, young Pauline cannot exist at the same space as Cranky Kong and Donkey Kong, because if Pauline was young, it would be closer to this Donkey Kong. So it doesn't really make sense. What I think happened, my fan theory, is that Cranky Kong got some remorse over the troubles he caused Pauline throughout the years. And so he actually went back in time to send Pauline down into that pit where she gets lost. And he sends his old self to go ahead and help Pauline so they'll bond so that he won't want to capture her later in life. The real answer is that Nintendo doesn't actually care about all this, and they just focus on gameplay and just make stuff up with the story. They don't really consider continuity or anything like that. Cranky Kong's a popular character, so they just threw him in Donkey Kong Bonanza. But who knows? Maybe they'll have the time-traveling Cranky Kong like I want. If you have any more Donkey Kong questions, or you want me to explain a little bit more about the Kong family, just let me know.